Hi there, everybody out there in YouTube land. It is the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day Nick Dutch back on the camera again one more time. Hi there, how the heck's it going? It's early morning. I finished my morning chores. I'm about to start work, and I thought I'd just shoot off a little video. This might possibly be the last bit of video that I'll put out prior to Sunday for obvious United Kingdom reasons. But don't cry, I'll be back soon, don't worry, just carry on watching some of the old stuff. There's about 1,000 videos out there. I'm sure some of them you haven't seen, or you haven't seen for a long time. So by all means, click up there where it says, more videos or something along those lines, and just scroll forwards and backwards, find something you want, and then have a look at it. Or failing that, click on my name, which is either there or there, I'm not sure which, and that'll take you to my channel page, and what you can then do is go through the whole list, maybe have a look at some of the playlists there, and see if there's anything which you haven't had a look at for a long time, and something which will give you some kind of inspiration from the mind of Nick Dutch today. Now, I'm just wanting to answer a question now, okay? Because this question's been asked me a few times during my long 3 years here on YouTube, namely, why do you do it? Alright, there's people out there who think that the subjects I talk about are somehow irrelevant or unimportant or not quite right somehow. Well, it's a question of perspective. The attack from the skeptics is really rather interesting because they take the attitude of, spirits don't exist, or we don't think that there are spirits in the world or spiritual forces and so on and so forth, or we don't believe in God. And similar arguments come out from them all the time. And also they misrepresent some of the phenomenon as if to say, well, if you're thinking about this or you're believing in this, that or the other, you must believe in spirits don't exist, and so on and so forth. This is of course a blatant misrepresentation of the hard and fast facts of basically what it is I'm talking about anyway. So I take a different angle and a different attitude. I mean, if there's anyone who has had the strange experiences that I have had, they will say these things have happened to me. Alright? Now, some people, they want to vanish into religion to be able to protect their right to be able to say these things have happened to me. And under the banner of freedom of religion, they then feel that they are justified to be able to say, yes, these things have happened to me. I believe it is my religion. I'm not saying that everything I'm saying for religious reasons, although I am a supporter of religion and spirituality. What I am saying is that the strange experiences that I have had say something about us as human individuals because we have the capacity to experience them. It says something about the natural world in the fact that these things happen in nature. Alright? They happen in nature, which means therefore there is some reality to it. But what variety of reality, and how on earth are we supposed to deal with that reality? Intellectually and in terms of an explanation. So the argument of the religious believers is wrong, because they're saying, well, this is happening because of God, because of the angels, because of the God and the goddess, because of whatever it is that they choose to believe in. Okay? That doesn't help if what we're trying to do is to take this idea or this subject and turn it into something which could be used usefully for people. Okay? In terms of human communication, in terms of human self-understanding, in terms of some assistance for health problems. Okay, there's no cures in all this stuff, okay, but there's some assistance. For instance, using meditation to lower your blood pressure or to assist in increasing or reducing the activity of certain parts of your body. I've mentioned before, using meditation to help me with my digestive discomfort when I get it. Okay, but it's a help, it's not a cure, so there's no sort of like miracle or magic wand which you can wave to suddenly make everything go away. You incorporate some of these exercises into your life to assist, not to cure, but to assist. But without the exercises, essentially you wouldn't be able to get that extra benefit. As far as communication is concerned, telepathic type experiences do occur. They just do. So, maybe we could learn to use them, exploit them to a certain degree, help us to provide assistance to people who are in need. Use it more or less like an EPIRB, maybe, to send out a signal when someone is in distress. There's ways and means of doing this, which we do not understand yet and have not actually crystallized into a sufficiently scientific methodology. Now, if we were to use the religious argument, all right, that would take a massive demographic, namely all of the skeptics, all of the atheists, and it would throw them away from this seemingly important natural phenomena or set of phenomena. Okay, so we can't use a religious argument and justification for this stuff. Can we use a scientific explanation? Not yet. We don't fully understand consciousness. We don't fully understand the human mind, the human brain, how our consciousness actually interacts with everything else in nature, including other people's consciousnesses. Alright, these are things which we will have to come to learn with the passage of time. So we don't have the explanation, we don't have like the hard scientific theoretical background which we would need to have if we were to explain this in hard scientific terms. So instead of saying, oh, it's to do with supernatural beings, alright, what we'll say is, let's move away from that. Just move away from that bit by bit and break it down to what has actually happened. And what has actually happened is a certain type of experience or experiences which had certain characteristics. And then we have to go through the intellectual process of trying to describe and explain what the experience was, just the experience, and what seemed to bring that about. Now, we could be wrong on a number of different levels when we're trying to explain it. Okay? We could be wrong in terms of thinking about the forces which have actually made the phenomena occur. Whichever phenomena it is, telepathy, astral projection, I don't know, okay? Prophetic visions, you name it. We could be wrong. But all we can do is trying to, as far as we can, look closely at what seems to have brought it about. Okay? And then we can try and repeat the experience. Obviously there's all kinds of different things which can be happening inside our bodies and inside our brains which could be affecting the results. Some of these things we will understand. Some of these things we will not understand. So what we can't do is say there is a specific singular formula which we can repeat and then reliably get that particular result. Because we're dealing with too many complex natural forces, the body, the brain, your digestive system, which will affect your mind anyway, and all the rest of that. The way I look at this is to try and find what is more likely to be testable, such as out-of-body experiences, some forms of telepathic experiences, and some of the sensations received when one is receiving a spiritual healing. Alright, but I'm talking about the sensations there, not the claim to provide health. Because if we can work out what the sensations are, we can eventually work out what's causing the sensations. And maybe those sensations could be indicative of something else. Now, a rebuttal of sorts from the skeptical or more atheistic community could be something along the lines of, yeah, well, we know that this is down to neurotransmitters or variations in skin resistance, or, galvanic skin resistance or responses, and so on and so forth. But what we could more realistically say is that these are symptomatic of parts of the experience, and all of the other forces which are somehow involved, we do not properly understand. So we don't have, even with some of the most strongest physical reductionist perspectives about neurotransmitters, about departments of the brain, components of the brain, organs of your nervous system. That's only a small part of the whole understanding. Sure, it's true that if you cut away a certain part of the brain, some functionings decrease. But on the other hand, why is it that there are some innovations out there which is enabling people to see using their tongues? Alright, it's a little camera on their spectacles which generates a black and white image which is then sent electronically onto a pad which is placed on the tongue. The pad has lots of electrodes, and from that the tongue can then sense a image, and then the visual cortex can then start interpreting that as being sight. Alright, using another part of the body, another part of the nervous system to assist in the production of some forms of sensations. We can't necessarily say with a being as plastic, as malleable as humans, that there's only one way in which the nervous system could work to achieve a particular phenomena, alright, or a particular sense, or a particular sensation. It just isn't true. But even with all the advances of neuroscience, there's still an awful lot more that we have to understand about the brain itself, let alone everything else which is somehow connected to the brain, including the experience of I think, therefore I am. So, thinking about the experiences, the strange experiences that we get when we're acting as experimental occultists, makes much more intellectual sense than basically anything else. So let's focus upon those strange experiences. Try and understand them. Try and learn how to more eloquently express them. Okay, describe them. And try and work out, with the help of extra forms of education, as to what else is connected to it, or what else seems to have caused it. That's as far as we can try and go. And from that, maybe we'll have a different argument which will make the skeptics and the atheists at least think that we're not just ascribing everything purely to supernatural beings or supernatural forces or things which are somehow in the realm of folklore or mythology of our people or our peoples. And from that point of view, maybe once it's become a little more popular, this transdeist perspective that I carry on coming out with, then maybe people will be able to see the phenomena differently. People will be more inclined to research the phenomena and see it as being part of nature, which is what it truly is. My name's Nick Dutch. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, favorite and share. And I will look forward to speaking to you again very soon. God bless.